All right, what's going on, guys? We are back here. I think this is episode 3 now. We got the young goat, Mr. Jason Diaz over here.
So what's up?
Man, I feel like people don't know, like, because I know you, like we reached out, you reached out to me for Flat Glass, and but I don't, like you have a really good presence online, but I don't feel like people like know how popping you are, like how like the numbers that you put out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, let's talk about like what's your story? Like, how'd you get into like this auto game biz?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, bro. Pretty much, I got into it because I was detailing before. So I started off detailing. Well, first I'll start from the get go. Since I was 18, right, graduate school, I went to Cal State Dominguez Hills. Got a finance degree. I came out. Yeah, I came out, and I was like, man, like I already had an eBay store in college. I didn't really have like a full-time job until I was 20. I was working in sales for T-Mobile, and I was top sales there for like 2 years. And then once I graduated, I was like, okay, like I'm gonna go help my father with his business. I doubled his business like in a year and a half, and then that's when I realized, like, man, I wanted something else to do with cars, but I don't want to become a mechanic. I don't want to do detailing. And I had a client who I was giving a ride back. They had dropped off their car for detailing, and he was telling me, like, Jason, I got a Model X, and he's like, it's crazy. There's shops charging me $1,000 to tint the windshield. And I was like, what? Like $1,000 to tint a windshield? I grew up in Santa Ana. So in Santa Ana, dude, there's posters that's like $150 window tint job. So for me to hear $1,000 like for a windshield, I was like, damn, if I could do 30 windshields in a month, I'm like, that's 30 grand. Like, I'd be rich, right? Yeah. So that was kind of like the way that's what sparked it in me. And
what did your dad do?
My dad does detailing for like wholesale for dealerships. So what I did was I went out to like Lexus, I went out to Ford, and I got accounts with them. And I was like 23 at that time. It just taught me the hustle, like in-person hustle, right? Because I was so used to just hustling on eBay, selling stuff online. Long story short, man, he told me that. I started running the numbers in my head, like, I was crazy. I was delusional. I was thinking I could do 30 grand or whatever in tint. And I was like, what do I do? Like, how do I learn how to do this? I don't know anybody in the industry. So what I did was I looked up like on Google, like on page 3, there was like a window tint course in San Diego for 5 days. It was like $1,200. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go do it. So I signed up for it. I drove like 5 a.m. from Orange County to El Cajon just to get there like at 7:30 or whatever in the morning. I did the 5-day training, and then I came back.
Who was the training with?
I was training with a guy named Robert from Matico. At that time, I didn't even know what Matico was, dude. They just told me, like, yeah, like you're going to be using Matico. You can set up an account with them. I went for 5 days, dude. I got like some film. I learned the basics. And then my first car ever, like, dude, I forgot everything I learned. I was like on the back window, like, what the hell did I do here? Like, I forgot. And
so you took a job right away? Like,
I took a job right away. Well, here's the thing, bro. I'll tell you this. Like, with me, I like to do things before I think. And like sometimes like it's like a double-edged sword, right? But what is it called? Like when someone's like very like not spontaneous, but like impulsive. I'm very impulsive, right? When it comes to like when I'm learning something, when I really want to do something or I get the idea to do it, like I'm very impulsive. So the class was taken on impulse. After the class, taking the first car was on impulse. I just throw myself in there, you know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure you probably relate to this too. Like any good entrepreneur, right? So I just threw myself in there. Pretty much, dude, I didn't know how to do that first car. I like struggled. I started like at 8 p.m. after work, and this was outside, like it was outdoors. It was at 8 o'clock, and I didn't finish until about 4 a.m. And then I clocked back into work like around 7, I think, to turn in the car before I started my job at 8. That was like the first car ever is a Hyundai Elantra. I still remember it. Like, I still vividly remember everything. 3 months later, dude, I was crazy enough to be like, man, I just need a little spot where I can do a car or two. And I ended up getting like leasing a spot for like $1,000 a month. And then I was like, damn, how many cars do I need to tint? And I was like, if I charge 200, I can tint 5 cars and that'll pay my rent. So I was like on survival mode, right? I was just thinking like, how can I break even? How can I break even? Yeah, dude, I literally opened a shop I went from like not knowing how to tint, never been in the industry, to opening up my first shop within like 5 months.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, bro. I didn't know how to market. I didn't know how to do anything like that.
Low key, I can relate. That's something I would do too. I could relate to you, and that's why I have a podcast. And like one day, I'm like, all right, let me do a podcast, and now I have a whole production over here.
And that's the thing, dude. Like I didn't even have an office. I didn't care to make my space look beautiful. If you look at my first shop, man, like I was one of the first two, man, to buy the raised deck flooring, which now a lot of shops use. And no one in that, at least none of the shops that were like locally known, had any of that flooring. I remember I spent like $2,600 on that flooring. Racetech had just came out with it at SEMA, and I was like, man, this would make the shop look a little bit better, because it was really janky, dude. It was like a storage spot. It was huge. It didn't look like a storage spot, but it was for a dealership. So I subleased off of them. I just made it look nice. I didn't have any wall boards like for the tint. You know how like Suntech, Lumar, 3M, they all have wall boards that show the shades. Bro, I didn't even have that. You know what I had? I bought a box of 5, 15, 35, and then I laid up strips on like a peel board. And when the customers would come in, I had the strips laid up, and then I had the heat box, and then I would just say like, this is, you know, the carbon, and then this is the ceramic, and that was it. I only sold 2 types of films, and I would always try to upsell because I was on survival mode. So you know what I did? My upsell was always the windshield, and at that time the windshield I was charging like, you know, $260, $240 to do. I was like, the ceramic I was like at $400, carbon I was like at $225. I would aim to average for like $600 a car. I had to make the most out of every single opportunity I had for anybody who came in. That's kind of how it started, dude, and that was 6.5 years ago.
I didn't know you had a finance degree. That makes sense, so that you do have, when we talk numbers before, you really break down the numbers, and kind of like how I do. You like reverse engineer this stuff. Now where you at?
Now,
yeah.
Dude, now this month, dude, is March, and we're on track to do 200 for the month, and that's just on the automotive tint. Like, that's not, you know, commercial, residential.
So you're pacing what this year?
I think right now, if we continue the same pace, we're probably gonna do like 2.4.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
Because I know you have 2 shops now, right?
Yeah.
You got one in Costa Mesa, and the other one's in
Anaheim.
That's what I wanted to get into, because, like I said, I don't think people know how big you actually are. I'm like, I think 2.4 is freaking on automotives. You know, on flat glass, I'm like, okay, cool, you know, but like on automotive, I think that's way harder to pull. And especially because like the come ups are way different. When you have a shop that's been established for like 15 years and they're doing like 1 million, 2 point, you know, okay, you know, they've been around for like 30 years. But for you, like, you came up in the past freaking like 5-6 years, right?
Yeah. So it's been 6.5 years that I started the company. So
I know you're big on Yelp, spend a lot of money in marketing, but like, bro, I know you have like 1,000. How many Yelp reviews do you have?
I have 1,000 reviews. On one store, I have 1,000 reviews, and it doesn't have a single 1-star still to this day.
And then, so how do you do that, dude? Like, how do you get freaking 1,000 reviews on Yelp? Because I know that if you're showing 1,000, there's probably at least another 300, 400 that aren't showing, right?
Yeah, I think we have it's like 100. Our net that we keep on Yelp is like 90-something%. So we still hold a lot of them. Yelp doesn't really remove a lot of our reviews. There is some that get flagged, you know, obviously.
So much money.
Yeah, but not even that, bro. Honestly, they suck, because one time I got a fake review from a competitor. Yelp was like, oh, well, we can't really prove that, and they didn't want to remove it. It was weird, bro. It was like a 1-star review, but I was like, dude, this doesn't make sense.
So talk me through like the process. So year 1, when did that second shop? So year 1, what did you make?
Year 1, I did like my first year. I did
like one-man shop.
No, I never did one-man shop. I hired someone off the bat, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I need to find someone who does. So I thought, right, this guy came in. I told him, dude, I'm gonna pay you $4,000 a month, and all you have to do is just be here. And if I get a car in, I just want to be able to have you here. Even if there's no work, you're still gonna get paid. And there was days, bro, there was nothing. He's still getting paid. Then when there was work, dude, I was getting returns like crazy, because there was a lot of contamination in the windows. And he kept telling me, he was from Florida, he was like, nah, like, this is normal, dude. Like, why are you blaming me? Why don't you blame the film? And at that time I was using Suntech, and I was like, bro, but like, these are all freaking contamination. Like, this is all dust. And I didn't know any better, because like I said, bro, I jumped in it. I didn't know anybody in the game. I'd never stepped into the tint shop, never got in a car tinted, so I didn't really know what to expect. At the school, they don't teach you about contamination. They just say, you know, clean the window thoroughly, put it on, and then that's tinting. When I had customers bring it up, I was one of those people, dude, where I hate to have returns. I hate to have people come back. Like, I don't like wasting people's time. Like, I genuinely value it. And that's why we have good reviews too, because I have a QC system. So we tint a car, we do a quality control. Coming back to it, I ended up firing him. I let him go like 2 months after, because there was too many returns. And I was like, screw it. Like, if anyone's going to fuck up, might as well be me, because at that time I was already doing side windows, and like, you know, I didn't have the perfect install either. So I was like, if I'm going to leave dust, at least I leave it. And then I don't have to worry about paying someone else, and they're doing the same thing that I would be doing, right? Then after that, like 2 weeks later, I found another installer who was like, was like the best thing ever that happened to us. And then he held it down with us for like about 1.5 years. And I would always push for the reviews. I'd ask people like, hey, like, you know, do you mind just giving us feedback? There was no gimmick. I didn't pay them. I didn't say like, hey, I was upfront with them. I would look out for them. You know, they saw how young I was. They would always ask me like, how old are you? This is your shop? I was like, yeah, it is. And like at that time I was 24 or 25. And so they would be like, damn, like that's great, Jason. Like I'm gonna support you. Like I'm gonna give you a 5-star review. And I've always been high energy, personable with people. They helped me out, dude. Honestly, a lot of my beginning clients, they're the ones that really pushed me up there. And then my goal was too, like I would charge less. I would beat all my competitors in price. I was like, one day, like I'm gonna be the most expensive. I'm just gonna keep my reviews on point. And one day when I have like 500 reviews, I'll be able to charge what I want to charge because I'm gonna have the best reputation compared to everybody else. And then that's what happened. 3 years later, my average ticket was like $940 on every car that we would get. It was like long-term vision, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't believe I was worth what these other shops were worth either, because I knew the service I was providing was not the same. Even then, like I made a video, I don't know if you ever saw it, but like I said, like, yeah, we charge $3,000 to tint a car, and we've gotten paid $3,000 to tint Model X, Model S, a Jeep Wagoneer using crystalline, which is expensive. But that's the thing, dude. Like people leave so much money on the table because they're scared of like, when's my next job gonna come? And like I was scared too, but I was like, dude, no, I deserve to get paid bro, I had a college degree. I felt like I deserved it. I was like, dude, I do an impeccable job. We QC the car, we wipe down all the panels, we give you the car back better than when we got it. Like I believe we deserve to charge more. When issues come about, we're like, no worries, we'll take care of it. I never made an excuse. I never told them like, well, this. I would always be like, you know what? Let us give it a second shot and see if we could get it better. That's what kind of pushed our customer service and our reviews. And so it was like, dude, if I'm willing to do what others aren't, like, why should I get paid the same? Bro, we're the most expensive now in Orange County, but we're still in business. We're still killing it. We're still breaking numbers. Every year we've had, dude, we've never done the same number that we did the year prior. Right now, we're already up 50%.
So because I remember last year we were talking, you're like, oh, I'm on pace to make like 1 something. Now you're telling me 2. I'm like,
1.7 last year. And then this year's going to be our freaking killer year, dude. And
year 1, what'd you do? What was that number?
So year 1, I did like 160.
Yeah.
That's what I remember doing.
160?
Yeah.
Year 2, when did you get that other shop?
I didn't get it until, I've only had it for a year. That shop, I opened it up.
No, because that same shop that you opened up is the same one you have now?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So pretty much what happened was that I moved from Costa Mesa to Anaheim. I moved the whole store. And then I reopened a new store in Costa Mesa.
Okay.
Which is completely new now.
That's a new one.
That's a new store. That's the new one that I opened.
Okay.
But my Anaheim store is the one that was running.
That's the OG one?
That's the OG one since I was running 4 years ago.
Because I trip out. Because even for me, like, I have a good amount of reviews, but I don't got no 1,000 reviews. And same thing with Google. How many do you have on Google?
On Google, dude, we're low. We're like 150, 170, 150.
Dude, I feel like Yelp is way harder to get.
It's funny because it was the opposite for us. Yelp was easier, and Google was like, well, one thing too, because I track the numbers. Yeah. Anytime anybody checks into the store, I'll ask them a question like, "How did you hear about us?" We have like different options, right? When they click Google, I look at I run the Excel numbers, and then I see like, where's our biggest average spend, right? So our Google clients are actually spending like $100 less than our Yelp clients.
Dang, you break down numbers like that, huh?
Yeah, dude, I need to see where the money's coming from.
So you look at the average cost per like channel of marketing?
Yeah, so I look at the average ticket depending on the channel. So if it comes from YouTube, if it comes from my personal brand, if it comes from Yelp, if it comes from returning customers, referral customers, like I see exactly how much on average each of those clients spend.
I would guess the returning customer is the highest average.
Returning and referral. Yeah, those are the highest.
Yeah, for sure.
Which referral beats the returning too.
Yeah, dude, that's one thing I tell people is that when you get a referral, you could 100% charge more, a lot more than you would from like a Facebook ad, just because you have that credibility. When you when you have like cold traffic, they don't know you. There's nothing that sets you apart. But when you've done work and somebody pushes you over referral, that alone has so much value, and you could charge a lot more for like a referral. Referral, they're just gonna go straight to you. They're not even gonna look around. So whatever you charge them, they're gonna pay for it. So that referral basis, it's so strong.
And that's why I break it down, because that also. So I do a lot of coaching too for like the sales guys. I remember last year I was telling you about it. Like even for my sales, dude, like I always ask on a phone call, like, oh, have you been with us before, or how'd you hear about us? Right? They say referral. I already know in my head. I'm like, okay, referral client, meaning that they're probably willing to spend a little bit more, right?
Do your prices fluctuate?
No, pricing stays the same.
It's fixed.
But what does fluctuate is my recommendation. So let's say someone comes in, or let's say someone calls, right? And they ask like, hey, like I'm looking for a quote on this car, whatever. I ask them, okay, how'd you hear about us? What's your name? Basic information, right? So let's say they say Google, right? And they have like an older vehicle. I'll probably Ask them like, well, what's the main purpose? Is it just privacy? Is it style? Is it heat rejection, UV? What are you looking for? If they say like, well, yeah, I want a little bit of, heat rejection and some UV or whatever, privacy, then I make a recommendation for them. I don't like say like, well, we have these 4 options. I say like, I train my guys to say like, well, look, if you're looking to solve this, this, and this, which is whatever, like the privacy, the style, most of our clients that are in the same shoes as you, they choose this film. And then we'll recommend, depending, right? If it's an older car, they're probably not going to spend a lot, but we still will recommend a ceramic. If they're absolutely like, hey, I have an older vehicle, but I have a skin condition, or like the sun really bugs me. It depends. It's like, it depends. The recommendation depends, dude, on what it is, right? If I get pushback, or if we get pushback, we always say like, well, we have other films too, but if you're genuinely telling me you want to solve that issue, then these films are the ones that are going to help you. If you're okay with only solving 70% of that issue, then we could also recommend like a standard ceramic on like 73% infrared, whatever. Like, we don't really throw numbers anymore, like packages, and we list it, right? Because people don't even know what they want.
Yeah.
So it's our job to like make the recommendation, and that's also how we kind of keep the higher ticket.
So you still have the same, you have 1,000 each, right?
I have 1, 2, there's 3 now.
There's 3 now?
Yeah, and like now we have like,
remember we did the cold calling?
Yeah. And Jose was just starting, bro. He was just like four months in, and now
though, even at that point
he was solid at that point, dude. And now he's way better, bro.
Yeah, we did, just so they know, we did like a cold calling where he called my shop and my customer services and his customer service and how they answered the question. So that was like last year,
around this time, I think, huh?
Yeah, early last year.
No, but we've made a lot of improvements, bro. I always make improvements, like depending on where we need it. And even now, like, I have you should probably try it. There's a system called Dial Pad. And so a dial pad. So what it does is like, one, it records your calls, it transcripts them. So whenever we have sales calls, I download the transcript and I run it through AI, and I tell them to break it down and what we could have said differently and how we could have, done better. It'll grade it, and then I'll give that feedback back to my guys. I'll say like, look, this is the conversation you had. This is like a recommendation that can be done. And they'll be like, damn, like I didn't even think about that.
That's crazy.
Right? And so now it kind of helps break down their call. And now when they get the same questions, same answers, now they know kind of how to navigate through it. Like I said, dude, I'm always evolving, dude.
That's next level, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even think of doing that, like transcribing the calls and what.
Yeah.
I'd be like, how can I do this better?
Yeah. So like I'll use transcribed or something like that to download the full call, transcribe it, and then I'll run it through either Grok or ChatGPT, or depending on the AI, and then I'll just say like, hey, break down this call and let me know what we could have done differently, and be like straight up, be harsh. I think what really pushed us to that level was it was just the sales, bro. Yeah. It was the sales. Like, really. Guy, huh? Yeah. I mean, dude, I've always loved sales, but it was more of like training the people, right? Because I noticed like, dude, I was maxed out. There was only so much I could personally do. So I was like, okay, I gassed out. I'm like, okay, I need to hire someone for the front office, train them to be me. It's been a struggle, dude. Like, it's an ever learning game. But
when you were in college and everything, you'd be tinting windows like 10 years later.
Yeah, I would have never, bro. If I was in college and you would have told me like, dude, you're gonna be tinting windows, I wouldn't believed it, bro.
That's crazy, huh?
At that time, I was in the cell phone industry, like reselling phones and stuff. Even then, if you were to tell me like 5 years ago, like, hey, bro, you're gonna have like a $2 million company on automotive tint, like I would have been like, nah, you're crazy. Because my goal at that time was just to make 10 grand a month profit. I was like, if I can make 10 grand a month profit for myself, like my livelihood would be amazing. Dude, I was like 27. I made like $500,000.
So what's like your marketing mix? So I know you're heavy on Yelp. You're heavy on Google Ads. Is that pretty much that's your mix?
Google Ads, Yelp. What's one thing, dude, that a mentor just challenged me on it too. I don't know if you know Ray. He's on MediaTune. He's like friends with Mike Norm.
Okay.
But anyways, so I paid for a mentorship program with him too, and he asked me this question where, and the mentorship was on leadership actually, because now that's what I'm more focused on, trying to lead a team, right? Because I got like 10 guys now. So he asked me one question, dude, that really, really made me feel like, damn, like, should I pull up my marketing? What avenue should I take? And he asked me, he's like, how efficient do you think you are with the current leads that you have right now? Like, what CRM are you using? I was like, dude, I don't even have a CRM. Legit, I don't. I didn't have a CRM until like maybe a month ago.
Oh, really?
You swear.
What?
And everything we would do is post it. So if someone calls, we start writing down stuff and we post it on a board.
You were on TintBiz, no?
Oh, TintBiz, but TintBiz is a CRM, but you know what we use it for? Scheduling.
Yeah, scheduling.
That's it. We don't use it for like...
So what do you... So yeah, that's the kind of... Yeah. So
and everybody told me like, bro, you're running over $1 million company without a CRM? I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, well, dude, imagine if you did. They're like, before you start spending more money on ad spend, Have you ever asked yourself like how efficient you're really being with all the leads you genuinely have, like the follow-ups? I was like, I'm like, that's a good question, right? And it really brought me down to it. He's like, how many phone calls are you guys missing? And I'm like, dude, I know for a fact we're missing a lot, because the phone sometimes, man, where we're on the phone, all 3 of us or 4 of us, like let's say, because it kicks it back to me at the end. So if 3 of the first reps don't, they're on a call or they can't get to it, it'll kick it back to me. Before this whole system, like I was like, damn, yeah, like when you're on the phone, dude, there's phone calls on top of phone calls coming through. We're missing them. And sometimes people will literally go with you because you picked up the phone. Dude, there's been times where people say like, we'll ask them like, what made you choose us over anybody else? They're like, well, you guys picked up the phone. Like I called a lot of people and like they wouldn't pick up. So I'm like, damn. So imagine how many people we're missing out on just because we don't pick up the phone. I was like, okay, this year my focus is to be more efficient. So the goal this year is efficiency, right? And so instead of hiring, more staff members and hiring more, and spending more money on ad spend to get more leads, I was like, let's try to just be efficient with what we have. Let's try to maximize whatever we have. And so my ad spend has stayed the same. The biggest difference we have now is that we have dial pad. Let's say my rep is on the phone. He has the work phone. He's on a call. He can't answer. It'll throw it to my next rep. If my next rep is on a call and he can't answer, it'll throw it to the next one. And then if the next one can't get it, I'm the last one that can answer the call. On our way here, I got a call. So that means that I was the 4th one that rang, and I got a call for a Tesla Model Y, full body PPF and tint. And legit, dude, that's like a $7,000 ticket. Yeah. And he's like, dude, great, I'll drop it off next Tuesday. Imagine if we would have had that guy wait. Like he would have been waiting a year ago, or even 4 months ago. That guy would have had to wait for us to call him back. And, it defeats the trust shops, too. Yeah. Maybe he called other shops and he already got pricing and whatever, right? So the nice part about it is that it's instant, it's on the spot, and it makes us all, because it's like, I put myself in the shoes like, dude, when we call a company, right, like a credit card company or something like that, imagine if we were getting sent to voicemail, we'd get frustrated, right? We want answers, we have questions. And so now I'm like, okay, this is probably going to make our customer service experience a lot better, but it also helps with the sales aspect.
How do you structure your follow-ups? Because for me, I use like stages, like go high level and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's what we're currently using. And
I'm using go high level now too
for the following up, just to see where that in the funnel. Yeah, that's kind of how I structure the follow-up aspect of it, because you have like freaking 50 leads to keep track of. It's so freaking hard to see who's where and what's up and who's falling between the cracks.
So for the follow-ups, man, honestly, the best thing we've done here is like we try to call them. If they don't answer, we just text them.
How many follow-ups do you do?
Max is 2.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Because it's just like, dude, sometimes people are not serious about it. It depends too, man. On the phone call, we're like, the question we always ask is like, how soon are you looking to get this done? If they're saying like within the next week or within, actually this week, then we start to be a little bit more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to follow up with them like tomorrow or like end of day. Like, hey, did you decide on who you wanted to go with, or did you have any other questions? Anything that we can do to earn your business, whatever. It just depends too. It's like, I like to tell my guys, it's kind of like we interview, we're interviewing our clients, because the more questions we ask them and the more we know, the better we can. If it's someone, dude, I've had people call us and they're like, yeah, well, I'm in the market right now. I'm still waiting on the car, it's a month out. Or something like, I'm thinking about buying the car. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You're thinking about buying the car, but you're not even like, you haven't even bought it yet. You haven't even put a deposit on the car yet. So it just depends. Some people, it depends, like a lead like that. I hate to say it, right? It's probably not the good advice to tell someone to like forget about it. But dude, I got other people lined up that are serious and they're hot and ready. So I got to prioritize them before I prioritize someone who hasn't bought their car yet.
Going back to like your channels of marketing, the biggest returns referrals, and then after that, what would you say the next like hot ticket referrals and returning customers?
Biggest tickets, returning customers, referrals, and then Yelp. And then Google. Instagram's here and there too, but from my personal page.
You run from your personal, not like Meta ads, right?
No, Meta ads. I don't run any ads on Facebook or Meta.
Yeah, stop doing those just because it's
honestly a lot of them are kind of dead leads too, and then some people are not even serious. Like I said, I think I had more people tell me like, oh, I don't have the car, or I'm thinking about buying the car on Meta ads as opposed to like Yelp and Google. Because if you think about it, like if someone's searching for it on Yelp or Google, it's kind of like the intent is much higher, right?
Yeah.
Than like Facebook, someone sees it as like, I wonder what it costs. Let me just
because for sure the traffics are different. On Facebook you're trying to convert people to tint your car. Rather in Google, people are out there searching for window tints. So they're already in the market. So it's a lot like, and that's why your lead cost is a lot higher than it's going to be like Facebook ads. I could pay for cars like $6 all day, get like 50 leads in a day,
Yeah.
But I'd rather pay $50 a lead and, my closing rate be 1 out of 3 rather than freaking 1 out of 60,
Yeah, that's the thing too, man. Right now, what's funny is like my commercial and residential kind of dipped down a little bit. Like in the last like 2 months, we were doing a lot of it like in the summer of last year and like even into the fall. But then it kind of there was like a slow season, like maybe like a month or two where I got some leads, but it was just kind of like little jobs, like a window, a door, something like that.
That's normal. That's how it is.
Yeah, I was like kind of, it was my first season in that, right? And so now it's like starting to pick up again, and I'm like, holy crap, how am I going to do this? I got subs that do the work for us. I think I told you about that. Just because it makes our life easier. I'm not like super big on the commercial. You know, right now we're starting to push a little bit because if in the next 2-3 years, I do want to get it up to, my goal is to get the company at least above 5 million a year within the next 2 years.
Are you going to go bigger or what's the plan there? You want to, because I remember you were talking about like maybe changing the name or something like that.
Yeah, so we are going to do a name brand change to be more unique. Yeah, bro, I don't know, maybe a third store.
Yeah.
Maybe a third store, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm still on the fence about that, but I just want to be able to dominate Orange County. That's my goal.
I mean, you already do, yeah.
Yeah, I'm coming for it, dude. I want to get the market share.
Yeah, it gets to the point where I don't think there's any other bigger shop out there that, you know, that does that much volume. But so for you, like, because your average ticket is high, right? What's your average ticket?
Over 1,000 for Tint, like overall in general, because sometimes we'll do PPF too. So I haven't ran it in general with like, including PPF, but I'm pretty sure it's over 1,000. With just Tint, it's like 940. I think for last month, my Costa Mesa store is like 1,000 something. It's like 1,020 or something like that, the average ticket. And for my Anaheim store, it's a little bit different demographic, but even there, we're like at 9 something.
So do you know like what's your like closing rate? Like for me, we're like at 30%, you know, like everything mixed in. Do you know what your?
I think our closing rate's a little lower. I think it's like 1 out of 5 maybe, or 1 out of 4. I would have to look at the numbers again, but based on the leads we get. The other thing too with Yelp that you have to understand is when you advertise on Yelp, you're competing against like 5 other people. You know, like if someone requests a quote on your Yelp, what it'll do is it'll send it to like 5 different people. Technically, it's like you're spending money, but yeah, you have to compete against.
Yeah, because dude, with Yelp, what I hate about Yelp is like freaking, you get a lot of leads, you know, and then we get a lot of people that just don't reply.
They don't buy. They don't. No, it's true. It's true. But I'll tell you this: once you have like 1,000 reviews,
okay,
the close rate is way higher, bro. Like people are looking at you and they're like, the guy is, you know, maybe a guy with 200 reviews is like $100 cheaper, but they're like, you know, these guys have impeccable reviews. Like I might as well just try it out with them.
No, yeah, because once you have like a certain amount of reviews,
yeah, even with like residential, man, like we're doing homes. I told you, like we've done DR for $15 a square foot on like 500 square feet, but it's just the same thing using Matico. Like people are like, bro, what? Like that's crazy, and I'm like, dude, no, it's not. Like we have the reputation, we go above and beyond, and we deserve to get paid what we get paid, and that's it. You know, like people love to say like, oh, dude, you're overcharging, or it's like, no, we don't, because we don't treat our clients the same.
You're gonna go. So what's your plans for like Flat Glass? Like, because when you're in the summer,
on Flat Glass, I just actually started advertising on Google.
Oh, nice.
And I started very small. It's like $2,000 a month. I ended up landing like a commercial job and like a few other home jobs last month. Cars, like a month ad spend.
Yeah.
It's like maybe $3,000 a month
per
store.
Oh, per store.
Yeah. And then I have radiuses too. So like I don't want one store competing against another one. Like I have like certain radiuses where we target, you know, different cities. The other thing too is like when a customer comes into the store, I know exactly what city they're coming from because on their check-in form, it asks them to list the city. I can see like where this store is heavy with X, Y, and Z cities, and then this store is heavy with X, Y, and Z cities. That helps me to kind of know, you know, where most of my customers are coming from. It helps me target it better too.
Yeah, because that's that you keep track of a lot of things, huh?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
it's data, bro. Like it's and
you know what? That's all data, you know.
Yeah, but you know, I didn't even think of that. And well, actually, I did have it on a work order, because I used to do paper work orders until I hired my first manager, and then he put me on a job form. Okay. And so now we do a check-in with the iPad. But what's crazy is that at any given time, you can do like a date range, and it'll tell you all those questions that were answered. It'll give you a graph of like,
that's cool.
You know, how many people responded to this, and like you get to see everything. So now that's how I'm able to track it. If it wasn't for that, honestly, I wouldn't even have been able, I wouldn't know what it's like to open up another store, because I wouldn't know like, damn, am I taking away clients, or am I sharing clients? Like, are we splitting clients? What are we doing?
Think of agencies like marketing agencies. Do you do like all the marketing in-house, or do you?
I do all the marketing in-house. Yeah. I paid like, dude, I've lost so much money like paying other people. I had an agency that was trying to charge $3,000 before I actually do it myself on Google Ads and stuff. Yeah. Honestly, like
it's not that
hard. We're killing it, bro. Like we're killing it. We're it's not that hard, but
I know you had an agency before, right?
Yeah. At first, like and you know what's crazy? Like I would hire these agencies and then I would go into my Google Ads and I'd see like, okay, let me see what the hell it is that they're doing, right? And like I would study it, I would look at it, and I would just pick up on the patterns, like, okay, like keywords, you know, all these things. And like before I used to open up Google Ads and it looked like a freaking jigsaw puzzle. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, what's this? And so just, you know, being on top of it and like seeing what different agencies were doing it all kind of started I started to see the patterns. And I was like, okay, like this is, you know, what this guy's doing. And then this is what it is. I was like, screw it. Like instead of paying someone else, like I'm going to try it for myself and see how it works. And so now.
Do you do like retargeting stuff or not really?
No retargeting like stuff right now.
Marketing thing is it's so much work, you know, like depending on like how heavy you're doing, there's like a lot of work to be done, you know. Like for me, that's one thing I'm working on a lot is on my website, you know, and then the marketing, you know, I'm doing everything myself too, you know, just because same deal, you know. It's like learn how to read the numbers. You have so much more control of what you're paying per lead, where it's coming from, you know, how many lead, you know, because I'm like you, I break down the numbers. All right, if I'm paying freaking, you know, $50 per lead entry and my average ticket's $1,000, you know, I could, you know, just know where you should be, you know.
Right.
You have an understanding of the numbers, you know. So,
yeah, and that's the thing too, man. Like I think you should know your business too. It works for different people, man. Like, you know, there's people that'll say like, dude, I hire a marketing agency because that's their specialty and they know what they're doing. But you'd be surprised how many marketing agencies don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're good at selling you the dream, the idea. Yeah. And a lot of them, when you ask them, like, dude, like, I don't see any leads. I don't see. All they show you is like, well, look, I have a list here of like, you know, phone calls you got, and it's a sales problem. And then what I'm saying, you don't even believe it, because to them, it's like, as long as they have someone clicked on the ad, it's like, oh, well, look, here it is, right? And so it's just like, well, if I'm going to be shown that, I might as well do it myself.
So what's your lead cost right now for like a good lead? What do you?
A good lead right now, it's like 56 on Google. Okay. I think $56 on Google. Acquisition cost right now is like $80. I think.
Hey, you know the acquisition cost?
Yeah, like per how much customer that comes to is like $80. Yeah.
See, if you know numbers like that, the way that works is, and then you're finance, so you know the numbers. I'm in accounting, so I know the numbers. But what people don't understand is like once you break it down like the way you did, like you just know, okay, if I spend an extra $600 next week on ad, I'll get this many customers, but I need to make sure that everything else is, you know, running smoothly, and that's how you scale, you know. As long as you're able to like scale your ad campaign consistently, because then because the more you put in, sometimes your cost is going to go up, you know, per lead. So
that's the thing too. Google, I noticed that too. Like if you throw in like, and it's still learning like bid strategy or whatever, like dude, it'll run through your whole budget, bro.
Do you optimize for like conversions or
optimize for conversions always? Yeah, I don't. I've tried top of the page, you know, and it just burns through it too. But for me personally, like the conversions, and I put it in like a limit on how much I want to spend per conversion. Yeah. I usually put it at like 52 or 62, and then that keeps me too in that ballpark. You know what I'm saying?
Do you ever have an issue of it not spending?
The daily basis, yes. Like I've seen like dailies, like where I'll look at the daily report and it didn't spend the full budget for the day,
and then it'll average out.
But then it'll average out throughout the month. Yeah, it's Google is definitely like one of those things that I just started learning like a few months ago, and I've even thought about like just investing in a course to like really dial it down, because bro, if you can market and sell, you can literally do any business.
Yeah. Eric was in here last week, the guy from TintBiz, and I assigned myself like the marketing director in my company, you know. So now I have a GM, and then like I'm just a marketing person, and I know all the ads and stuff, because that's where the money's gonna come from, you know. So
no, it's true, man. And it's how
like heavy are you in the operations right now? Like what's your
funny.
Your so what do you do?
So I actually had we lost our manager, right? Our manager from our Anaheim store left. So right now I'm covering for that position until I hire someone. It was just one of those things, man, where like we have such a good work culture. Like I hire, we have a team of 10, and a lot of the guys are very supportive, dude. Like they, they don't.
I remember you said that you would get guys from the car wash and teach them how to tint.
Yeah, I would tell them like, dude, come and learn a new skill, a new trade. But now, ever since social media started uploading, like people have hit me up like, bro, I want to learn, bro. Hired people. Like I hired a guy a few days ago, or like not even days ago, like a few weeks ago, and I told him like, man, look, just come in. I'll contract you for a day. Come in only to see if like you're a good fit for us, but like come and see if, we're a good fit for you too. Because there's people, bro, that genuinely, like, I meet with my guys and I ask them, like, what is it that motivates you? What is it that you would like to see out of your position and your job? And, and so a lot of the times I've noticed, like, bro, not everybody's money hungry. Not everybody's chasing dollars. Some people are chasing just the stability. Some people are just chasing, like, dude, I just want to have something stable. People have different reasons for showing up to work. I've told people all the time, like, I'll contract you for a day, come in, and check us out and see if you fit in and if we're a good fit for you. And I get to see how they work. I get to see, if they like being around us, or maybe we're not the right team for them, right? So I don't want to hire someone and then it's like, I don't get along with the guys or whatever. I just don't see myself here. You know what I'm saying? It's different, bro. When you interview as an installer to when you actually work in the business, then you get to see how it's structured. Maybe you don't agree with the structure. Maybe you do. So anyways, long story short, hired this guy, came in. I think he was in there for like 3 hours. And I was just like, you know what? Like, I think I've seen enough. Like, it's just not going to work out. And, he still had his full-time job. I didn't like pull him from anywhere, but it's just one of those things, man. Like, I don't like hiring people that, have a bad character, 2, don't have a growth mindset where they know they can learn more, because we're all about growth. Like, you're joining a company that has pushed growth for the last 6 years. Like, if you think that you are okay the way you are right now, the company's going to outgrow you. Yeah. And I've told that to all my guys, like, dude, if I'm pushing for growth, like, you guys have to grow, because if you guys don't, the company's going to outgrow you, and then someone else is going to fill in the position a lot better. And even then, man, but everybody has made more money every single year that they've been with us. Then he came in and he was like, I didn't see him, but he left a letter for me. He's like, hey, like, he wrote down that, he's seen me on Instagram before, and he wrote a little bit about himself. And I was like, I wonder who this is, right? Like, I asked my guys, like, hey, what's up with this guy? Like, what do he seem like? He's like, oh, seems like a humble guy and really young. I was like, oh, okay. Like, maybe I'll give him a call later, right? So like a week passed, and as we started getting busier, like, February month was like insane, dude. It was our best February ever. And I was like, damn, if this is what February's looking like, we're going to need more people coming into this year. I go back to the paper and I'm like, let me call this guy, see what he's about. Because you never know what it is until you interview him, you see them in person. So I called him up, came through for an interview like right away within the first 30 minutes. I asked him if he was available that day. He was like super eager to be like, yeah, I'll be there. I spoke to him to like maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes just to get to know him. And I was like, all right, dude, you start on Monday. And he was like, what? Really? I was like, yeah. And, I'm like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put you on a training schedule. So you're going to learn how to prep for the next 2 weeks. Then after that, you're going to learn how to install side windows for the next 2 weeks. And then for the next 2 weeks after that, you're going to learn how to do back windows and then front windshields. And so, bro, that guy's killing it now. Really? Oh, dude, he's killing it. Nice. And you know what? It was just based off character, dude. Just the way he presented himself. Super humble guy, really hungry to work. He was working a warehouse job. And he's like, man, I took a 5-day course in LA. Went to like LA Tint Rep school or whatever. Oh, yeah. And so he's like, but I just feel like I didn't really learn much. And I was like, dude, look, I told him, look at all these guys here. All of these guys learned from zero. They all started where you're starting right now. I'm like, and they learned within a year. So trust me, you're going to join the right team, but we do, expect this and this out of you. And he was like game for it, dude. And every day this guy shows up, dude, and he's just excited to work. And he's improved just in the last 3 weeks that he's been with us. And that's
so you can't teach character, like
exactly, man. And that's why I'm always big on that, dude. Like, if you show me that you're hungry, if you show me that you're humble and you're ready to get going and you're open to like learning and getting feedback, you know what I'm saying, and being coachable and trainable, dude, I'm all ears, dude. Like, I will always make time for those people.
As you get bigger and bigger, and then your team grows and grows, like having the right people in the right places, it's sort of gonna come. That's what everybody says. What it's gonna come down to is just having the right people in the right places. So
yeah, the other thing too, like I could say, man, is like as the team grows, one thing I've always kind of realized is like, have I trained them, to be efficient? Have I trained them to the best of my ability so that I'm not setting them up for failure either, right? Like, I had a guy who just started with us too, and he scratched the car. He scratched the car with one of his tools. He put like the squeegee, the Unger squeegee. Uh-huh. He put it on his back pocket, and he was prepping a window, and he backed up, I think, in his chair, and like he scraped the edge of a car. It wasn't like anything crazy, but he did scratch it, right? He told us. It was 2 days in, and I'm like, bro, why would you put a squeegee back there, like with the steel or what is it, the aluminum, and it scratches easily? Why would you do that? I didn't ask him that, but in my head, I'm like, why would you do that? But then it's one of those things where I have to ask myself too, like, well, did I, set the expectations? Did I train him? Did I spend enough time with him to train him on where to put tools, where not to put tools, what tools to use, what tools to not use, and when to use those tools. And so I try to hold myself accountable too before I get to like be like, yo man, like why did you do this? Like how would you not think? And blah blah. Like instead of attacking, you know what I'm saying? I ask myself first, well, did I set him up for failure? Like if the answer is probably yeah, I didn't give him enough time, then guess what? Now I that's a big sign to me saying like, hey, your training system needs to be better and you need to focus more on your new guys. Now I'm spending more time with them like these last 2 weeks on just like what tools to use, what not to use.
So do you have like everything kind of systems kind of implemented right now?
Yeah, I do, man. I'm big on that. I'm big on systems, dude. Yeah, big on systems. Don't break them. Add to them. If you know something's good, if something's working great, and we can make it better, cool. Let's do it. But what's worked for us right now has worked for us for the last 6-7 years. So now it's
what's like your like people break the system, like, well, how do you hold them accountable?
Write-ups. I have a handbook that they get when they first come on board. They sign it for acknowledgement, not for contract purposes, but for acknowledgement. Like, hey, this is what we're about. This is what's expected. This is what, you know, you should be doing. This is what you shouldn't be doing. And even like job offers, dude, like I write the job offers. I write the duties that are expected out of them because I don't want miscommunication. I don't want people running around thinking like, well, I didn't know that was part of my job. I didn't know that was something I had to do, right? It's just one of those things that slowly as the team kept getting bigger, I started realizing like I need the onboarding to be smoother.
Yeah, no, that was one of my it's still one of my issues. Is like I expect people to do things, but I didn't really set that expectation with them. You know, they don't know they have to do that thing. Then I get mad and fire them, and I'm like, bro, it's my fault. You know, like it's just yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's just it takes a lot of patience, man.
Yeah,
That's
it's discipline too. You know, like you gotta push your ego. Yeah, like now, like I treat everything as my fault. I'm like, man, it's my fault. Why didn't I tell her to do this? You know, it's like everything. Just blame it on yourself, and I think it'll be a lot smoother.
It'll make you a better leader too, man. Yeah. So you know, if you don't want that pain to happen to you again, now you know, hey, when I hire a new guy, what are the important things that I have to tell them, right? Hey, don't put a blade on this window. It has a coating, dude. You know, if you see this,
so so for that, like, how do you deal with like? Because I know everybody gets like anal customers and stuff like that. You know, do you like ever drop your price? Like, do you like okay?
We do bundles. So like, let's say someone's doing a full body PPF or something like that. We try to help people out, but we have a threshold too. All my sales guys know exactly how much and how much they shouldn't discount. We're big on not discounting, just because like, dude, like it's, you know, this is what you're getting with the service. This is what it is, and for us, it's not a problem. Like customers don't complain about our price. That's why we tell people who, you know, because people say all the time, I want to go with you guys. You know, why don't you go with someone else where it's cheaper? You can find cheaper, but if you want to come with us, this is the price that it comes with.
Yeah, right? But you could do that now. We're at the point where you're at. You know,
exactly. But before, I used to take the hits. Like it was growing
so
into
like,
it.
Guys coming up right now, you take the hits or what?
Oh, 100%. If you're starting off 1 or 2 years, yeah. Why do you deserve to charge $900 for a car? $1,000? Why? Yeah. You know, why? What makes you special? You don't have the reputation. You don't have the 5-star reviews. You know, you're not going to scale quick like that. The people that are best in the trade,
build value,
they build a reputation. The reputation pays you. That's how it is in nature, like, right? Like,
so what would you be because a lot of auto guys, you know, I'm not an auto guy, you know me. I do.
Yeah, you do flat.
Yeah, I do straight flat. So what would you do to like a guy coming up right now? What would your best advice be to him? Like, okay, I'm doing maybe a couple cars a week. You know, I can't get past that.
If he's doing a couple cars a week and he can't get past it, then I mean, you got to ask yourself, do you need more help? Are you willing to train someone else to help you? Are you willing to hire someone else to substitute you and you can focus more on the business? The other thing too is like, dude, put the ego aside, bro. You want to be a window tinter forever? Yeah. Or do you want to be a CEO? Or do you want to be like an actual entrepreneur where you scale the company? You got to choose what avenue you want.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of guys get stuck in that installer mindset, you know? And like for me, like installing is like the last thing I'm worried about, you know? Like when it comes to, there's so many things that happen behind the installation that actually makes the business, you know? Because anybody could, you know, throw film on not anybody, but you know, there's a lot of guys that could throw film on the car, but putting like the whole, and like the more it grows, like the more I'm realizing that it's like, yeah, it's less about like the actual work and more about the experience, you know? And obviously you have to follow it up with good work, you know?
Right. I would probably say too, the biggest thing, if you like for guys that are just starting off, it's like, dude, trust me, like there's other good window tinters out there. Like you're not, you know, you're not the only one. Like there's awesome tinters out there, dude. Like I feel like I had to master every single position in my business. So like I went straight into mastering tinting. Like even though I was good at sales and stuff like that, like bro, I still made it a goal to be like, okay, I got to be a master tinter too, because that's the only way I'm able to teach my guys. You know what I'm saying? And I was picky with my work. Like every little dust speck, I would touch it up. I would make sure it's not visible. And that's why we also have the reviews we have, because when we get customers that are super picky and OCD, guess what? They're checking the windows, they're putting their notes to the window. Yeah. You can't find a single spec. That's why they pay and they keep coming back.
Do a lot of redos?
No. We have a system, bro, where like, honestly, bro, I hate to do redos. That's why we QC everything. So the 20 minutes that we take to literally check every single car.
Yeah. So what's your QC process?
QC process, we start. Well,
that's quality control for people.
Yeah, QC is quality control. Every company has it. I think a lot of tint shops don't have it though.
No.
Quality control, even an iPhone has it, right? Like even though a machine makes this, like at the end of the day, someone inspects it and says, hey, they stamp it with their approval that, hey, this is good enough work to go out, right? Window tint with us, like we run through every single window that was tinted, check it in the sun. We make sure that there's no specks on it. If there's contamination, we touch it up. If there's too much contamination, that's a redo. So we'll redo it on the spot. So that way we don't hand the car over to the customer. No matter how busy we are, dude, like our goal is always to redo it instead of having them come back. Okay. There's times where we're slammed, dude, and it is what it is. Guess what? We got to push the other cars back. I'd rather tell a customer, hey, man, like we're going to need another 30 minutes on the car because we found this and this. And as long as you can give us the time, we'd rather correct it now, right? Communication, expectations. And dude, I want to say 99% of the time, customers are like, oh, dude, I appreciate that. Like, because I'm driving from far or my schedule's tight. So for you guys to do this and get it fixed before I have to come back, amazing. You know what I'm saying? So we check every single window. Majority of the time it's creases. We check for creases, contamination, light gaps, right? Anything like that. We do a lot of windshields too. So our windshields have to be spotless because those are where the customer's always going to be checking. It's just that, bro. Like our training systems. Things,
like once you leave like one spec or something,
they'll go on to the whole rest of the car.
Dude, they'll start freaking taking it apart.
Yeah.
I always tell the guys, like, if you have to think about it, redoing it, just redo it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather take the hit all day, dude, on the material than because dude, they're paying a premium. Like that's already factored into my pricing too. It's like, if we're going to be redoing a window, guess what? It doesn't hurt us to redo it, right? The guy that's charging 400, I'm charging 600. Guess what? I could take 2-3 hits on a windows. Doesn't matter. But the guy that's charging less, he's counting every single penny. He's crunching pennies, dude. Because, if they have to redo a window, he's like, fuck, that's $20 right there. I'd rather be on this side, right? More complex than just that. But, we sell value to the client. Yeah. I don't like selling price. When people say like, oh, well, it's the same film. Why are you guys $200 more? Well, yeah, but your hairstylist can use the same clippers. And are you going to go to any hairstylist? No, you wouldn't. Because no matter what tools they use, at the end of the day, the workmanship is different. So you got to compare apples to apples. You know what I say? Like, that's what I tell them, dude. Like, our trades is like that.
How long have you been doing social media before?
Social media for 1.5 years now. It's not that long. No, dude. Honestly, man, with social media, like, I never really cared to be on it, and I never really expected to, like, get, like, millions of views on some videos. But I was always humble, dude. Like, I would always keep my head down and I would always just work.
One thing I can say about you is, like, same thing, same guys in the video is, like, in person, like, on and off camera, like, it's the same dude,
Yeah, and people on social media, they always say, like, oh, that guy's just a character. Like, he just lies to get clickbait. But it's like, no, bro. Like, fresh off the lot, he's been to my store. I've shown him, like, my $3,000 tickets, my $2,500 tickets. Like, they've seen them, dude, on Tint. And they were like the first people I ever kind of ran into on social media that have genuinely came by the store, and they didn't ask me or anything like that. I just told them, like, you know what? You guys are the first ones to ever come in. Like, I want to show you guys that I don't bullshit. I don't care to appear like something I'm not. Like, I just genuinely share. In fact, I was sharing those stories and I never even thought they were going to blow up, but I got so much hate for them that, like, damn, like.
Always going to be haters, How do you give them attention?
Sometimes I troll them back. Yeah. Like, sometimes I'll troll them back, but just to, like, just to kind of rage bait them a little bit. And I don't really care, dude.
Yeah, because, like, social media, like I started posting probably, like, around the same time that you did, Mm-hmm. I've never gotten, like, you've gotten some videos that are, like, I remember you showed me your stats one time, like, it was, like, in the millions. I'm like, oh, shoot, dude, this guy's freaking pulling numbers.
Yeah. I was doing over 1 million a month.
Yeah, dude.
But, like, it's crazy, dude. Like, social media is one of those things where, like, it's cool because you grow your presence and people know you, and they get to, like, like, who the hell is this guy? Even if they don't like you, dude, like, they know you, right? Yeah. It's kind of like, I always like to say, like, for the haters, like, they know me, I don't know them. So at the end of the day, like, I'm living rent free in their head. If they want to, like, that's cool. I don't say anything bad to anybody to, like, aggravate them, or I don't go on social media and talk smack on people. Like, share stories, experiences that I've lived at my stores, and
there's definitely a lot of fake stuff out there, like, like what you said, like, you had the boys that to kind of fact check you, you know, because sometimes it's hard to say. It's hard to tell online whether they're legit or they kind of just playing the front, you know, of like, yeah, I'm doing it big. But even you, like, I've never really seen you kind of put up your numbers online or see how much you're like pulling in, because like I said, like I don't think a lot of people know like the numbers that you're pulling in, you know.
Yeah, I know. And some people, you know, they some people don't believe it that have asked, and some people, you know, but at the end of the day, man, like I said, dude, I still have a lot to grow. Like I still see a lot of rooms. I'm just thinking like, damn, what's my next step? Because every year that finishes, I'm like, fuck, I gassed out. Like I pushed it to the max. And then it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, what can I change this year to make it better? Yeah. Right. And that's what keeps us growing. But, you know, numbers is one thing, dude. I focus on profit too. There's contractors pulling in $3 million a year, general contractors, and then their take home's 300 grand. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When I was just doing everything myself, I was like at a $1,050,000, 3 guys. It was me and 2 guys, actually. It was 3 of us. And like, dude, I was almost hitting 600 grand profit at 27.
That was your one shop, right?
That was one store. So it's like, you know, now.
So here's a question: Are you making the same now with 2 shops and kind of grossing $2 million?
Pretty much. If we were to do it, no, I would make more this year.
Really?
Yeah, because I try to keep my net at like anywhere between 35 to 40 every month.
Yeah, because sometimes as you grow, like you kind of grow yourself out of your profits, you know.
Exactly, but that's why I say like if you charge what you're supposed to charge, right? Like if you want your team to sell well, you want to sell the high ticket. That gives us enough cushion to make sure that our profitability is still good. I was talking to someone else in the industry, and they were telling me they're like a what do they call it? A consultant, and they help other shops kind of scale too. And I met him at the.
I've noticed you do that a lot. Like you're really like you reached out to me initially.
Yeah,
you're a mentor. Like,
I invest, bro. I invest because, like I said, one, I don't know anybody in the business. Like I didn't come in knowing, dude. Like I didn't know what a showroom looked like. I didn't know how to tint. I didn't know anybody in the industry, right? So I have to pay my way to learn. It's kind of like you, right? I paid you like $3 grand.
Yeah.
And even then, bro, like I wasn't expecting you to give me this whole world. I think with 2 times that I came out, it was like enough for me to be like, all right, perfect, worth it. Like, dude, those $3 grand turned into like freaking 100 grand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, who else is gonna invite me to come over, see how the work is, and then like get an idea. Like I've never done flat glass, so I needed to see it firsthand.
And that's the thing, people are just scared to like, oh, this guy's charging me. I'm like, if I had like a flat glass business that's pumping out like 5-10 million and they're gonna take me to business and show me what they're doing, I'm like, bro, take my money, dude.
Yeah,
people are just so scared to kind of invest in themselves and like know that like, bro, okay, I'm charging you whatever $3 grand, literally that's one flat glass job, you know. And if I could show you how to get that one flat glass job, it's like do the math, you know.
I think one time I came out, you showed me how to like talking on the security film. Like, bro, that was game. I didn't know which one to use. I didn't know like how to install it. We did like I think we also did a security film at a school. And then you also showed me you did graffiti, right? Installing, like, those are all things that I had never really done. I had only done DR. I'd never done a security job. I'd never done anything like that. So just the simple fact that I came out here and did that, dude, to me, that was worth more than $3 grand. That's why I never bothered you to be like, hey, George, like, well, I didn't get my money. But like, bro, I was like, dude, this guy took me on site, like on the job. Like, I'm like, bro, I'm fucking game, you know? So it's cool, bro. Like it's worth it. And so now that's what I do. Like now I look for people that are better than me and I invest in those people.
You help guys out too, right?
And I help out guys too, bro. Like I've taught people.
What's like that? What do you do with guys? Like, and like somebody hits you up, yo, Jason, need some help. Like
so I have like a training program of 8 weeks, and then my price point is $3 grand. So pretty much I meet with them one-on-one for 8 weeks, and then I just hit their bottlenecks. What is it? Is it marketing? Is it a sales issue? Is it a hiring issue? Do you need forms on how to, you know, a write-up form?
What's a bottleneck?
Most people, man, I'll tell you right now,
what is a bottleneck?
A bottleneck is pretty much something that you currently struggle with in your business that you feel like is keeping you from moving to the next step.
It's like the one thing that's holding you back from the next thing, you know?
Yes.
Because there's no point in improving your sales and stuff like that if you have no freaking leads. Leads is your bottleneck, you know? So like being able to pinpoint your bottleneck and what's holding you back currently, it's really important. If you can't figure it out, then like guys like me or Jason could kind of help you out and show you and pinpoint what your bottleneck is. We've been there, we've done that.
A lot of the times, bro, bottlenecks, like for most people that I spoke to, man, it's sales. Like, what do I do when someone calls me and they're like, hey, can you beat this price? Can you know, because we get phone calls like that too, man. Like people will call me like, hey man, I'm looking for, you know, 2025 Honda Civic and I got a price for 300 right now, like, can you beat it or not? And I'm like, bro, what? Like, chill out, bro. Like, first of all, what's your name, sir? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, what's your name? And I doesn't matter, bro. I control the conversation always. And that's something I tell people on the phone. It's like, don't let people control. People are calling you, your business. You control and navigate that conversation. When someone comes in like that, a lot of the times, man, like people freak out and they're like, well, I could beat it or I can't beat it. Or, like first thing I'm always asking, like I'm always calm and collected. I say like, gotcha, man. No worries, I can help you out with that. What's your first name? Boom. How'd you hear about us? Boom. So I already know. If they say, I found you on Yelp. I found you on Google. I already know. They saw our reviews. That's why they're calling. You know what I'm saying? If he tells me like, okay, like, yeah, can you beat it, man? I just want to know. I don't want to waste your time. I just want to know if you can beat it. Okay, cool. Well, which windows are they doing? What are they offering you for 300? What are they giving you? Basic tint. Like, isn't it all the same? Well, man, like, I don't know. Like, I'm asking you. You're the one that's saying that's 300 for what? What are you paying 300 for?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And then once I got him in that stump, and I say, well, look, man, we don't sell price. Because what if I was to tell you, yeah, it's 200, and then I put a film that's only going to last a month? Would you care? Right? So you don't even know what they're putting on. And that's what we don't do here. We make sure every client, blah, 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 and I run them through the whole script. And so I've gotten people like that, dude. It turns into $500 tickets, $600. Bro, you got to be confident. You got to call people's bluff at the end of the day.
How do you like get that to your sales rep, because that's the hard part, because you could sell all day,
Yeah.
But how do you get Joe's
training?
Yeah, huh?
Training, man. Training. It's just training.
Do you do like regular training on a regular basis?
Every day, dude. Every day.
What does that look like?
Before I was managing one store right now, because obviously I have to substitute. Pretty much what I was doing was like I would spend, half of my days in Costa Mesa, half of my days in Anaheim, and then I would listen in. On their conversations, their phone calls. And even though they're good, they're seasoned and everything, I tell them like, hey man, next time, try this and this and this. Because how they said this and this? Well, try navigating that, this way. Or try questioning them on this. And so it's always training, dude. Like anytime, doesn't matter. Even if I'm in the back and like I see an installer doing something or struggling with something, I literally just on the spot, dude. Like I'm always just out looking for where I can help in the fact of training to make them better. And I'm a big believer in that. Dude. Now I'm more focused on making other people better instead of like,
because I thought you were gonna grow,
Yeah, I don't see it as in like me, because I know, bro, I'm maxed out. I already maxed out. That was 3 years ago. I already knew, hey, if I'm the only Jason in this company, like there's no point. It's a wrap. This is what I can do, right? This is the worst case scenario. I could do 1 million. I want to do 2, 3, 4, or 5. I got to create other versions of me too, or at least better versions of me. So the other thing too is that I always show it too, bro. So I got a lot of respect for my guys because they see I can do a clean install. They see I can do difficult windows. See that I can do sales, customer service, de-escalate. They know I can do all these things, and so because they see it, they believe it. It was like guy, the first time he sold a $3,000 tint job on a car, he was like, bro, that's ridiculous. Like, how are we going to do that? I made him believe that he could. And guess what? When he did it, he was like, bro, I sold it. I sold it for $3,000. I'm like, bro, there you go. But that's the thing, man. Like, you got to also push people to believe in themselves. And I always tell people, like, look, man, I wouldn't ask you to do something I personally couldn't do. Like, everything that I say, it's been proven. I've done it multiple times, and I know you can do it, and I know that you're capable. So now I try to empower others, dude. Just be better and earn more, be better, and grow into something that, they feel successful into. Leadership is big for me now, man. Like I truly care about all my guys, not in the sense where like a lot of business owners, like they think like their guys just want more money. But one thing I will tell you, man, is yeah, they want more money. Obviously, everybody should get paid, and a great salary, but more than anything, it's acknowledgement. People just want to be acknowledged for their work. People want to feel like their work is worth something too. Like I got guys, dude, every single time they knock it, bro, I tell them like, dude, I'm proud of you. Like, I've seen you grow. I've seen you improve in this. Like, dude, you're killing it. I'm proud of you. And I want you to know that I'm seeing you, bro. Like the other thing too is getting to know my guys too, man. Like having a relationship with them.
But sometimes you gotta have to like manage that relationship, right?
Yeah, I mean, it takes time. It takes effort. Like for Christmas, like this last Christmas, even my subs, like I wrote a letter to my main sub, and I was like, man, like, you know what, like, bro, thanks for helping us out this year. Like, this is, you were a huge part of it. And I give them a gift card, but I wrote a single personalized letter for all my guys, including my subs for flat glass, because dude, they saved my ass last year. Like, we were stacked. And so like for me to be able
subcontractor model is the way to do it, especially the way you're running stuff.
Yeah, it's just it works for us. And for all my guys, man, I just want them to know, like, dude, even though I got all this shit happening and going on and I got to focus on this, I still want to let them know that I acknowledge their efforts and how much they've grown. And I'll tell you, man, I get messages all the time, like guys that I've taught how to tint, they'll tell me like, yo, bro, like, I just want to say thanks, this and this, like I hit my best month ever, or other stuff too. So it's nice to get those type of messages, even from my guys, man. man. They're like, yo, bro, I just want to say thanks. Like, I've grown a lot this year, blah, blah, blah. I think I enjoy leading more than anything.
Are you tapped into like the industry a lot? Like, do you go to the event and do all that?
I've only been to one event, the Auto Film Mastery. That was the first event that I went to ever.
When did you go to that one?
I went there in October, I think. Just recently. I think it was November, maybe. I don't remember the exact date, but that was the only event I've really been to, man. I haven't really been in the industry like that. Like I said, I've always just done my own thing, kept my head down.
What did you think of like the Auto Mastery one?
It was cool.
Because I think like when I think
if you're starting off, it's great. I think you should go. If you're starting off, you should go. If you want to network, you should go. If you're big or not. Like I met a guy out in freaking Florida, dude, that each shop is doing like $5 million a year. It's nuts, dude.
What's your film purchase there, dude? I just went to the freaking.
How much film do I purchase?
Yeah.
A year?
Yeah.
I think it's like in the 240s.
Okay. Yeah.
240, somewhere around there.
You go to the 3M conference and stuff like that?
No, I've never been to one.
No?
Even though, dude, we're like one of their biggest freaking buyers out here in SoCal for automotive.
I go to the Lumar every year, just to network, meet people. It's cool to see what these old school guys are doing, and how they're doing it. There's always gonna be somebody better than you. So this guy's buying like $1 million of freaking automotive film of last year, dude. Which blew my mind. Huh? He's called Tinners out of Miami.
That's him.
Oh, it's him.
That's him. That's the guy, dude.
He's bought $1 million of freaking film last year.
His name's Marwan.
But what's crazy?
That guy's fucking nuts, dude.
What's crazy? He started like freaking 4 years ago, dude. 5 years ago. That's insane. So that's why I like going to these things to like.
Did you meet his partner or his manager?
I didn't get to talk to him and stuff like that, but because I didn't know about him until they like an award ceremony at the end.
Dude, that guy's he's the GOAT, bro. That guy inspired me. I told him because I met him at AFS.
Okay.
And I had drinks with him like at the last meeting. He asked me, he's like, bro, how the fuck you sell $3,000 tint? And I'm like, dude, like just how you have your edge, like I have mine. Like that's just how it is. And he's like, man, like he's like, I couldn't, we sell maybe $600-$800 tint. He's like, but he's big on PPF too.
That market is really same thing with your market and my market. They're really
competitive.
There's a lot of like really saturated right now.
His thing like that I learned from Marwan is just like, dude, he's just relentless, bro. Like he's like, I want to dominate the whole thing. I want to dominate the whole market. Like if he's in a certain city, or a county, he wants to dominate that whole county. You know what I'm saying? And so he's just really aggressive too with it, man. Like I feel like he's like, I'm like a little miniature version of him, but like he's like fucking like 100 times on steroids than me. Yeah, dude. But I respect him, man. I actually look up to him a lot. And I met him that day and I was like, I just told him, I'm like, bro, honestly, I don't know how you do it, but you're a fucking monster, dude.
Yeah,
like he's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, there's levels to this game, just like there's with everything. There's always gonna be like a big dog, and just when you start sleeping, somebody passes you up.
Yeah, no, it's true, bro. That's the other thing that keeps me up, bro. That I'm like, dude, if I'm not pushing, someone else will come into this market and push.
Yeah,
so I'm like fighting to try and stay on top and to just try to continue growing, dude. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. That's what they say. It's true.
Yeah, because that's kind of where I'm trying to do right now. Is I'm trying to push, because there's not that many bigger flat glass companies over here, because for me, like there's a couple top dogs in here, and now that I'm starting to go into these bids with them, like kind of see them just lax, so like, I want to show them, I want to take like the market share, like my goal by the end of this year, next year, is just to freaking own LA,
yeah,
the flat glass
no, dude, and there's so much business here, dude. It's insane. Like all of our business, to be honest, like a lot of it's in Orange County. I don't really come up to LA because fuck the traffic.
Same thing.
It's horrible. It's like an hour and a half to get up here.
Yeah, we get a proposal. If we get something in OC, we'll do everything offsite. If we get the job, then we'll drive down over there. But for the most part, unless it's like a building, we won't drive down to like Orange County to do a proposal.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, so I mean, it could be, but it's just go do a free consultation, prime time traffic to maybe get the job. I could use the guys to be doing something better.
I think yeah. But with us, like I said, first we ask for pictures. We don't even really need measurements. Like sometimes we just ballpark it based on like the pictures, and like if we've done certain like doors or whatever, you kind of have an idea already. Like I just, if anything, like I make it a little bit bigger. Like if a window like this measures 50 inches and on the picture it looks like 50 inches, I'll probably say, just to play it safe, I'll measure it at 60.
Here's a trick for you. I always use like a door for a reference, so I know that like roughly a door is going to be 32 by 80. So if it's around the size of the door, I'll be like, okay, it can't be bigger than that.
Yeah. So exactly. So I always just hit a ballpark range. This is what it is. If that looks good to you, then we could come out and drop off samples and, you know, talk more and hopefully lock them in on the spot. That's kind of how I work it. And it's worked for us, man. Like some people, they're like, oh, you're too high. But like I said, at the same time, it's like not worth it for me to come out. Like I still feel like we should get paid, you know, great. Like I need to make at least 50-60%.
On the flat glass side, it's just you doing the estimates and stuff like that? Or
no, so it's actually my sales guys too. They actually handle the flat glass.
So you don't go in person and do like...
Not at the moment.
Or you try not to?
Yeah, not at the moment. I'm not doing that. Right now I'm handling the store because until we find a new manager. For that, I would still help, you know, if they had an estimate that's really good lead, I'll go out and try to close it myself. For the most part, like the guys are working on it. Like just yesterday we locked in a house, $7,000.
Yeah, I remember you texted me the first time you got like a nice size.
I sent you like a $7,000 check. I was like, bro, it's 400 square feet of DR. Like it was crazy, man. It's like that, dude. Like I like to make wins like that, man. Automotive is so busy, bro, that commercial residential is like just extra money. I also want the margins to be good. Like I said, we can get all the jobs in the world because we beat the price, right? But then it's like, dude, if I'm making a 20% squeeze on that, like,
yeah, I feel like we're completely...
Let's say $2,000. Let's say a $2,000 job.
Yeah.
What's 20% of that? $400?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna run my books to show $2,000 for $400 profit.
Margin is like 20% on a...
You know, well, if you're paying subs. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're paying subs and they're expensive, yeah, it just doesn't make sense for us.
Yeah, I feel like we're completely opposite spectrums. I treat auto how you treat glass, you know, or flat glass, you know?
Yeah.
What pays the bills is my flat glass, you know? For me, like I'll do a car, you know, every so rarely I'll charge them freaking $800 to do the freaking thing. You know?
Yeah, it has to be worth it for you to go out and do it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's the same thing with us, like for the flat glass.
And do you think, like, I asked everybody this, do you think it's possible to kind of like, I don't think it's possible, you know? Like, and then before, like now in my website, there's nothing to do with cars and stuff like that, just because people I'm going after, like I want them to go to a site and just straight, we specialize in houses and buildings, you know, that's what we do. Is it possible for like a guy to do really successful flat glass and auto?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think it just takes time. You know what I'm saying? Takes time, and then two, it depends on how you're priced, because the thing is too with flat glass, bro, I've noticed there's a lot of like mobile installers who they strictly specialize and they're owner operators, so for them they'll come in super low because all they have really is their material costs. You know what I'm saying? But when you're a company, I have to factor in like the time we go out there to take measurements, the time we go out there to drop off samples. All of that is already adding onto that price to the project, right? Like it's not like, even if I do it, I have to use my salary, and if I divide it hourly, I'm like, dude, that's how much we just spent on that project. Like that also has to be accounted for. You get me? That's how construction companies run it, dude. Like big construction companies, they'll run every single minute that literally they have to go to the job site, do the proposal, do the estimates. Like all of that is hours that are ran into the project. So when you really look at breakdown, you're like, fuck, we only made 10%.
Yeah, after,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like after all those expenses, let's be real, bro. Like where's it at?
Yeah,
it just has to make sense for us, dude.
Times are changing, dude, and like, because the come up now is a lot different than 10 years ago. What do you think it's gonna be like in 5 years? You not be left in the dust, you know?
You just gotta continue growing.
Are you using AI at all? Like, are you left besides what you said, transcribing?
No, for AI, for like phone calls and stuff like that, not really. That's probably gonna be, you know, something implemented, but there's been a lot of pushback on that too, because people want to talk to a human being, they don't want to talk to like a robot.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The other thing too is like, because we're so big on automotive tint, like if you want to get paid big money on tint, you need to make contact on the phone. Phone call will set you apart from anybody else, because anybody else who just texts a quote, you didn't sell value, you didn't sell price. Like a lot of the times, man, like if I want to sell, you know, a $900 tint job, the more money the ticket is, the bigger the ticket is, the better it is to sell it over the phone. Because
the bigger the ticket,
the better it is for you to hop on a phone call and sell it on the phone instead of text or email. Well, sometimes email works too, but I would probably say I prefer phone call, because one, I get to read the client, I get to ask them exactly what they need. That helps me frame my offer. You see what I'm saying?
What are you looking to do like in the next couple of years right now?
You know, there's one thing that I have thought about and I've entertained it. It's like selling the company, you know, like selling it, and just
the way you're running the company, that's a good. But in flat glass, there's a couple companies that buy other shops, you know. But is there something like that in the auto? Do you know?
Not that I know of, but there is investors who, you know, have bought out other competitors of ours too. I know like
Campbell
a company
just sold, because Campbell was one of your competitors on the flat glass side, right?
Yeah, but they're huge, bro. I think they sold too for like hella millions.
Yeah, they sold. Yeah.
Like, yeah, flat glass is one thing, but dude, any business that's profitable, and that's why I focus so much on profits, dude. Yeah. And that's why I sell the value. That's why I sell the high tickets. I go to sell the company. I want them to see like, this is how much is coming in, and this is how much the company's keeping. You know what I'm saying? And then I've had 6-7 years of growth now, so it's a growing company. It's not a dying company.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a it's a lot more attractive. And if the company's running on its own, like if I had my managers in place and everything, like bro, as the CEO, all I'm doing is really in my operations, checking everything, making sure everything's running on point. But the business doesn't need me; it runs on its own. It'll be attractive, I think, for an investor. I think if I could get like 5 or 6 mil for it, I'd be happy.
What? After that, you just
the next thing, dude.
That's the next thing.
Yeah, I just feel like, dude, there's times where you outgrow stuff. Like, bro, my dream for my tint shop was to make 20,000 in sales a month. Like that was my dream, bro. I already surpassed the dream that I had when I first opened. Sometimes I'm still trying to, dig like, okay, how big do I want to get? And do I really want to do it, right? I have to be passionate about something for me to really like dial it in. I'm just looking at like the near future. Like I have my first baby coming on the way, right? My first son. So it's just one of those things, man, where like, I don't know, dude, I've been in the trenches since I was 18. So it's not that I want to stop. It's just that I want to be able to get some money out of what I've built and think about what's next for the future. Maybe real estate. I don't know yet. We'll see.
But I feel like whatever you do, like you're the kind of guy, and I say this about like people, you could go into any industry. Like it's just, you're one of those guys that will kill it no matter what you'll do, so whether it's freaking real estate, auto, freaking hamburger stand, you freaking blow it up.
Yeah, bro. So it's just, who knows what the next step is, bro? Only time will tell. But right now, I think the rebrand's going to be happening this year, and then push for the next 3 years, at least when I'm 35. By 35, I'm probably going to be on the fence whether I sell, maybe franchise. I don't know, because a lot of the guys too, they're like, bro, we want to own a part of the store too and have our own stores. So I don't know, honestly. I don't know. Time will tell, and we'll see what we can do with it.
And then if somebody wants some help, they can reach out to you, right?
If someone wants some help, they could always reach out. I always try to DM people back. I get a lot of DMs too, but
what's the best channel to reach out to?
Meet Jason Diaz.
Meet Jason Diaz.
Yeah, so if they want to reach out, meet Jason Diaz, Instagram handle. I get messages on TikTok, but I don't really go on there. DM me on Instagram.
Happy to have you. Like I said, you have a good presence, but I don't think people know how much of a beast you are,
Yeah, that's all good, man.
You're a freaking beast. Keep it up, I know you're gonna freaking keep doubling. The fact that you're going from 1.7 to 2, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, dude. We'll see. I'll keep you updated on it.
Keep me posted.
But we're gonna kill it, bro.
Oh, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, man.